Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. My name is Chams.
My name is Anissa.
You are watching Best Rules. In today's video we will talk about the living cost in Qatar and we will be comparing it to the living cost in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Stay tuned. Before we get into the video, recently, early this month, Qatar has removed the visa for Bosnian citizens. So if you have some relatives here in Qatar or you want to try your chance here in Qatar, this is the good time to come, since you no more need any visa to access Qatar. Good news for you, huh?
Very good.
To talk about the cost of living, we divided our video to 6 parts. The first part we will talk about the currencies in both countries. The second part we will talk about the housing. The third thing we will talk about the transport in both countries. The fourth thing we'll talk about food and utilities. Number 5 we'll talk about some random price stuffs, coffee shops, restaurants. And the last part we will talk about salaries and comparing the salaries in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Doha, Qatar. Stay tuned. The currency in Qatar is the Qatari Riyals. 1 Qatari Riyals means 100 dirhams. The Qatari Riyals is pegged with US dollars. 1 US dollars means 3.64 Qatari Riyals, and this is fixed. While the money in Bosnia and Herzegovina is the KM, the convertible mark. Initially the currency was pegged to the German mark. Then after, in 2002, it was pegged to the euros. 1 euros equals to 1.955 km. It means approximately the double. So being said, if the euro go up, the Bosnian km will go up against the Qatari Riyals. And if the dollars go up against the euro, it will affect also the rate between Bosnian km and the Qatari Riyals, because both are pegged to the US dollar and the euro respectively. The first important thing to ask about when you are shifting to a new country is how much you will pay for the rent per month. So the rent here is one of the most expensive things. So you will have to pay for 1 bedroom apartment approximately the average of 4,000 riyals. Maybe depend on the area for sure. But the lowest you can get is 3,500, 3,200, but this will be excluding the water and electricity. So how much in Bosnia for 1 bedroom apartment in the middle of the city?
It's about 250.
250
Yeah,
km.
yes.
It means 500 riyals approximately.
It depends also about place.
Yeah. For 2 bedroom apartment, the average here is about 5,000 riyals. It means about 2,500 km. How you can compare it to Bosnia? How much there in Bosnia?
I will say about 300.
300 km.
Yeah, or
It means
a little more.
Yeah, depend on the place.
Yes.
300 km. Here as well, if you talk about villa, if you have a bigger family and you want to rent a villa, you will pay at least for about 10,000 riyals, which means 5,000 km, which is a huge amount. Really, it's big money. And how much if you pay for if you want to rent villa in Bosnia and Herzegovina?
In general, there is not villa for rent, but it can be about maybe 400,
400.
500.
Okay. Apart of the rent cost, we should talk about the electricity. The electricity here in Qatar, it depends on the season, because in the summer you have to put the AC working 24 hours. So because of the hot weather outside, so the electricity bill will go up. So approximately in the month, in the summer, you have to pay about 250 riyals for a small apartment. And maybe in the winter or in the colder season, you will pay approximately 150, 100. So how much in Bosnia?
It's about 80.
80.
80, yeah.
It's about 80 km. It means 160. So yeah, I think it's about the same.
Someone get more, someone less.
One more thing to add about the housing is the internet. The internet cost here is a little bit expensive as well. So the lowest formula that you can get is about 250 reals for 3 megabytes speed. So how much in Bosnia for internet?
For internet, about 40, like this.
40 km. It's cheaper, much cheaper than Qatar. The third thing we would like to compare is the transport. In Qatar you have the opportunity to take the metro, which was recently launched, and it's a very good option. Or you can take the buses, which we don't recommend, or there is the taxis, which can be taken through mobile application. It's called like Uber, Karim, or the local company called Taxis. For the metro, for one journey, you will pay 2 reals. It means 1 km to go from any place to any place. 1 day journey in the metro of Qatar will cost you 6 reals. It's about 3 km. For the taxis, it will be an average of, let's say, 10 reals per trip, about 5 km. So how much the public transport approximately in Bosnia?
Taxis, it's about 3 km.
And the buses from city to city?
From city to city, which city? From Tuzla to Gradačac, I can say it's about 6 km, 7.
When we talk about transport, we should talk about the price of benzene. The benzene in Qatar is definitely more cheaper. The 1 liter of benzene in Qatar, the highest quality of benzene, will cost you about 2 reals, which means 1 km. And how much in Bosnia?
It's 2.3 km.
4.5 reals.
Yeah.
It's approximately the double price. When we talk about transport as well, we have to say about the prices of the cars are approximately the same, but maybe in Qatar are a little bit cheaper since there is no taxes. Meanwhile, we have to say also that if you are driving a car, here the traffic is really annoying and very heavy traffic. So the fourth important thing to talk about in comparison is food and utilities. The price of the food in Qatar varies so much. It depends on the season, it depends on the supermarket, it depends on the offers. So as an average, we would say we will pay approximately 200 reals per week for to buying what we need, and an average of 800-1,000 real per month, which approximately is 400 to 500 km per month for the food and the utilities. So how much in Bosnia?
It's about 250, 300, like this.
Km.
Yeah, okay.
It means like 500 to 600 reals. Yeah, slightly cheaper in Bosnia. How much the milk?
The milk, about 1.5 km.
Here,
it's about 3 reals, like this.
The milk here is about 6.5 reals, 3.5 km approximately. And how much the bread in Bosnia?
1 km, like this.
1 km. Here there are a lot of types of bread, but the Arabic bread is 1 reals, and the French bread, the baguette, is 3.75 reals, which is approximately 2 km. Yeah, in food there is not really a big difference, but sure in Bosnia everything is more fresh, because here most of the things are imported. So you will not get that fresh tomato like in Bosnia, or the fresh.
Of course.
1 kilogram of chickens in chicken breast in Qatar will cost you about 25 reals maybe. And how much is it in Bosnia?
It's about 8, 9 km.
It's almost the half of the price. And the meat here also, there is a lot of varieties in the meat. Let's say the average will be about 30 reals per kilograms, which means 15 km. And how much in Bosnia?
It's about 14.
14 km. Yeah, it's 28. Approximately the same price. Not approximately. Number 5. Now we'll talk about some random price stuffs in Qatar and compare it to Bosnia. If you want to go in coffee here in Qatar, it will cost you approximately, the cheapest coffee maybe about 20 reals, which means 10 km.
Oh, so
And
much.
how much you will pay for coffee in Bosnia?
Maximum you will pay 2 km.
Oh.
Maximum.
If you decided to go in restaurant here, you will pay per one person in the regular restaurant about 20 to 25 reals, which means 12 to 15 km approximately. And how much in Bosnian?
I say about 5 km.
5 km
Yeah.
per person. Yeah, it's fine. For the clothing and these stuffs, I didn't notice a big difference, to be honest. It depends on the brand, because
Yes.
most of the brands are international brands and they follow the same price almost everywhere in the world. But here, as you will see, there are a lot of promotions, and every week maybe will be new promotions. You will never get the original price. Every time you will get a discounted price. So probably for the shopping, for the clothing and the stuffs, I would say that Qatar is a little bit cheaper than Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Bosnia don't have these offers like this.
Discounts and offers, yeah.
Discounts and offers like this.
One more thing to talk about is the electronics. The price of electronics in Qatar are a little bit cheaper than in Bosnia and Herzegovina. For example, we take the example of Samsung S10. In Qatar, it will cost you about 2,700, 2,800. Probably when there is an offer, you can get it about 2,600 reals, which means 1,300, 1,400 Bosnian km. Meanwhile, in Bosnia, it will cost you about at least 1,600 Bosnian km. The average salary in Qatar is about, in 2019, is about 10,000 reals. Meanwhile, the average salary in Bosnia and Herzegovina in 2019 is about 800, 850 Bosnian km. So here you can see a huge difference. It's about 3 times, 4 times more in Qatar, the average salary. But actually, these only numbers. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that the living in Qatar is much better than in Bosnia, or it doesn't mean also the inverse. So as a conclusion, a part of the rent cost, which in Qatar is way more expensive than in Bosnia, the transportation, the food, the utilities, the prices are approximately the same, with minus and highs. And for the salaries, as you know, in Qatar is way higher than in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.